Gonzalo Mayo can really render some amazing art. I just know an amazing twist is coming in the end. I can feel it in my bones. Jim Starlin with a cosmic tale? What a surprise. If you haven't pledged to the Patreon, what are you waiting for? Patreon.com/vmcampos. Join in on the fun for $3.33 a month. What a deal. Hello and welcome to the weekly VM Campos Comic Book Club. I'm your host, VM Campos. This is the series where I review a comic book, new or old, from my collection and rate it on the factors of the cover art, interior art, plot, and enjoyability of the book on a scale of 1 to 5. And then I tell you to get it or shred it. This week I'm reading Vampirella, Volume 1, Number 78, published in 1979 by Warren Magazines. A little behind-the-scenes info before we get started. So, Vampirella, the original bad girl, first published in 1969 by Warren Magazines, Warren Publishing. This has been a venerable series that lasted 130-something issues. From 1969 to 1982 or so. There was a bit of a resurrection in the mid-80s that didn't last too long. There was another resurrection in the 90s with Harris Publications, the heir apparent to Warren. And then Vampirella went away for a while. And then she returned, better than ever perhaps, over at Dynamite Entertainment, where she has been around for, I guess, going on almost 20 years now over at Dynamite, so I guess they're doing something right. And if you're looking for 1,000,002 variant covers, Dynamite is your publisher of choice. But anyway, here we're seeing a black and white series. It's an anthology series. It's from the same publishers that brought you Eerie and Creepy, those amazing black and white anthologies. This is another one, and you could be forgiven. A lot of the stories feel like they could have been in Eerie or Creepy, but the big difference is that there's a main Vampirella showpiece in her own book. Mine is this square-bound copy. It's a $2 copy. There's a $1.75 version. Mine also has a stamp, I suppose, from when the newsstand monger put it on the newsstand. It's in pretty good condition. Interiors are yellowed, but this is a fine addition to my collection. All right, cover art. There's no cover art. It's a photo, and an amazing photo. This is Barbara Lee, who was Vampirella in the flesh at this time. For 20 issues or so, she graced the covers as the official Vampirella model, and I think she fills out the costume, what little there is of it, very well, and her alluring expression also is perfect Vampirella. Nowadays you get a lot of Vampirella cosplay covers over at Dynamite, but this was something new and different and eye-catching in the 70s. Vampirella is real! Let me buy 2 copies, one for collection and one to enjoy. So I'll give this cover a 5 out of 5. I love it. The photography is amazing. The model is amazing. It's fun that they did the Photoshop effect of putting her hand above the logo. Obviously not really Photoshop. Photoshop didn't exist in the 70s, but you know what I mean. Another bit of Photoshoppery is, if this is supposed to be like a tattoo, they need to fade it out a little bit more so that the skin tone shows through. It looks a little bit too stamped on. And if you look carefully, I guess it is behind the costume, so I guess it is supposed to be the tattoo. Doesn't fully work. Cool background. Great cover. Interior art. Right away, I'll say it's a 5 out of 5. We've got some amazing artists working in this book. We have a list of them here. Alfredo Alcala, Ara Leon, Russ Heath, Gonzalo Mayo, Jose Ortiz, and Jim Starlin. So yeah, lots of big names in the world of mainstream comics, as well as names that made a big name for themselves in the black and white anthologies of the time and the Warren books. And as we're browsing the interiors, we are seeing amazingly tremendous black and white art, pen and ink, washes, zip-a-tone here and there. We're also seeing it's kind of a lot. You get a lot of bang for your buck. There's a lot of panels. There's a lot of expertly rendered characters, male and female, creatures. There's a cool transformation scene. Vampirella becomes a bat. So this is just one of the many stories. And yes, this art in every single story is amazing. This is the top of the line. This is the top of the line cartooning, ranging from realistic to a little bit more cartoony, simple environments to more complex ones. And every story is this tour de force. Jumping over to the little guy. Again, expressions, anatomy, even scenery. Very simple background here, but this is the big top under the spotlight. And then the characters. That looks like a real person jumping out of the page. The sexy girlfriend contrasting with the evil magician guy. And this is an amazing scene as well. The train rendered, the chiaroscuro technique of the shadows. This is a fancy term of light and dark. It's just amazing art. Ooh, that one's some brutal art right there. And that expression, tremendous. So yeah, every single story is just perfectly rendered. When you had to be an expert in pen and ink, if you wanted any shading, you had to be an expert in hatching, cross-hatching, and the like, or rely on the harsh mistress of washes, ink washes. The skin texture of the dinosaur is amazing, and the lettering, rarg, love it. That expression is amazing too. I'm just going to keep saying amazing over and over. So here, the Starlin piece, Jim Starlin, we've got a bit more stippling and patterns in a way that looks like pencil. So this is just every single story is a work of art. Interesting panel layouts, expressions, anatomy, variety of artists, but all at the top of their game. That's hilarious. So yeah, the interior art, it's a 5 out of 5. Plot. Well, we've got various writers. We can see them all listed here. Cary Bates, Bill Dubay, Steve Englehart, Bruce Jones. 2 big names at least there that I know. You might know the others as well. One thing else I want to point out here, we've got Louise Jones, also known as Louise Simonson, as the senior editor. So a woman as the editor of this sexy comic. I dig it. Variety of writers there. So the writing, okay, this Vampirella is Kiss of the Dragon Queen, which I think it's an ongoing story. I think it's the first one of this particular story. We have a little bit of behind the scenes, what has previously been happening. Apparently Vampirella was off to Hollywood in a few adventures. Some of the letter writers didn't really enjoy that. Vampirella in Hollywood on Earth, you're defanging her? No, bring her back to amazing adventures. And so here, something about going off to Hong Kong because there's like a dragon killing all the drug runners. Now here's a really fun panel here. So Vampirella and Panther are walking around. Some creepy guy has been following them. He makes his move, and Panther replies, "Let me guess. You're going to ask what a girl like me is doing in a place like this." He says, "That's a better line than I had. Actually, I was about to ask if you ladies would care to see my dinghy." Panther replies, "Tell me, is it a big dinghy?" He replies, "Well, I don't like to brag, but..." And Vampirella's expression is one for the ages. And the dinghy joke goes on for a few too many panels. But yeah, that caliber of writing, some of this cheeky writing in the Vampirella story, because that's the bread and butter of the series. We got sexy females as you love them. What was the text on the very first issue? Bewildering tales of bewildering females as you like it. Something like that. I'll put it on the screen. So we've got drug runners and Vampirella turning into a bat, and there's a dragon, and the police try to catch the dragon, and oh, okay, it was just an alligator, but no, of course it wasn't. And this is just one of the parts of this dragon story to be continued next time, May 8th, Vampirella 79. Little guy. Okay, this is one of the classic twist endings. There's a little person as a performer in the circus. He's got a hot girlfriend. Everyone thought she hooked up with him for his money, but no, he's not rich and she's still into him. So his fellow magician guy says, "It's perfect. We're going to put you in a little crate, then you're going to go rob the train and we're going to get the gold. It'll be amazing. We can make millions." She says, don't you dare do that. Don't you dare go to a life of crime. I love you the way you are." So if only there were a way to convince the little clown to do the bidding of the evil guy. I know, I'll kill his girlfriend on accident. When you do the old sawing the lady in half trick, which didn't pan out right. And that's some gory art there. I can't unsee that one. So now that she's dead, the magician's like, "Yeah, okay, now without her tying you down, how about you do my plan? We'll be rich." So I'll spare you the twist in a moment. So then they argue back and forth, and he's like, "Oh, the magician's all drunk, and yeah, you get in the crate just like this, no problem. You know, I don't fit. I'm not as big as you. Oh yeah, whoa, chainsaw out of nowhere, and now you do fit in the box." The end. I love those twist endings. You would have never seen that coming. This is interesting. They have this think piece. They have this critical piece on the brand new Superman movie. And the writer, Joe Brancatelli, is extremely negative on the movie. He's calling it a cash grab. He's calling that it's not like the comics. He's saying that this is the distraction of the masses and the original comics are the best. Oh, comic book fans, will you never be satisfied? He also puts down Star Wars and takes some time to trash talk DC at the end here. Lastly, I don't expect the success of Superman the movie to have a noticeably positive effect on comic book trends or comic book sales. Folks at DC are praying the movie will carry their anemic efforts upwards. Forget it. Their comic books are bad comic books. Nothing can save them, except perhaps a new publisher, a new editor, and a renewed commitment to well-written, well-drawn, and well-thought-out magazines. I love it, but back then everything was magazines. You know, you had to remove the stink of comic books. No, these are high-quality magazines. Superman in his latest magazine. But anyway, yeah, very interesting of the time. Pause it, read it for yourself. Very interesting look at comics and the new Superman movie of the time. More stories. There's one about the French Foreign Legion and a guy going in to, avoid life, going off to fight someone else's war to lose his old life. The guy's kind of a bit of an enigma, refusing to leave the base. He's going to get court-martialed. He's forced to leave the base and fight and so forth. And then, I don't know, this one's just really weird because at the end there's a dinosaur. And it also was something about the guy's in love with a dinosaur. The twist ending is way too much of a twist. And then a twist on top of a twist. The guy that survived is also in love with a dinosaur. I guess? Extremely weird. I don't know about the story on this one. It's just so weird. But the art is tremendous. Then we turn over to some more tremendous art, courtesy of Jim Starlin. There's some Bruce Jones story. Now this is the sexiest of all of the stories. So basically there's this hot guy that goes to several different planets to service the inhabitant, which is a lone woman. So every woman has her own planet where Reggie then comes to visit and gives some relief with the creepy robot watching. And then he hops over to the next planet, does his duty there, hops over to the next planet and does his duty there. But wait a minute, Reggie starts to malfunction. Reggie is a robot because how else are you going to service the lovely ladies quadrant after quadrant? So the inhabitant of this planet sends for a repairman. This nebbishy guy comes to repair the Reggie model. And she's like, okay, put those tools away and bring out that other tool. That guy is not a repair droid. He's the real deal. And in this world, basically, men have been eradicated because, they're way too much trouble and such. But after she got what she needed out of him, she's going to turn him in to the authorities, the sisterhood and such. But the guy's like, now, wait a minute, I can do things for you. Not just in the bedroom, but throughout the house. So he becomes an indentured servant, basically, also repairing the Reggie robot, getting Amy exactly what she needs. Now, the reason they have the mechanical man is because, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So finally the nerd is like, I'm out of here. I've had enough. I've been your plaything, and I just can't take it anymore. I'm out of here. She's like, yeah, right. I'm going to turn you in, and you'll be dealt with, so you better shut your mouth. Now go bury that model. Go bury that failed model in the field and come back to service me. The twist ending here is that somehow the nerd fought back and created a robot of Amy, and he's going to leave finally his servitude, and she's going to stay as the woman on the planet, but she's the robot, and the real woman was buried. Super twist ending. So I don't think you were really paying attention to the story. You were paying attention to many other aspects of this tale. Next one. This one starts off with very ponderous. A new child being born. But wait, it is sentient, and it is thinking, and it is remembering, and it is planning. That's the prologue. We start the main story. Basically, this rich guy is dying. All his money in the world can't save him, so he goes off to various things, various religions and cults, and just trying to cheat death. It is the lot of all of us, but he can't handle it. He needs to cheat death. Well, his servant says, back in old Africa, my old tribe has a way to live forever. Go seek them out. So, of course, he'll go to any lengths to figure that out, eternal life. Basically, this hippo tribe, this hippo cult, yes, a hippopotamus, they are the ones that have found the secret to eternal life. Finally, he stumbles upon the village. They know what they must do. So, whoops, he gets killed. But is this the way to immortality? Actually, it is. He is coming back to life. Thank you, Hippo Tribe. Thank you for bringing me out of the depths of death and back to life as a hippo. And the mama hippo was just like, what did you expect? A non-twist ending? Hilarious. There's the Almost Anything Goes fan page. So basically, people are invited to draw Vampirella a brand new costume. There's also various trivia questions for you to ponder and responses to the previous contest. So for a grown-up type of magazine, it still has tinges of some classic juvenile comic works. Then the comic basically ends at this point. A bunch of ads. We have some various movies you can purchase. Frank Frazetta calendar, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Amazing, the Ralph Bakshi, Lord of the Rings, up to 13 inches tall, in full color sculptures. They all look horrible. Sorry, the Bakshi Lord of the Rings characters just look horrible, except for Gandalf and the Ring Wraith. Everyone else is like a joke. Tell me in the comments, am I wrong? Do you love the original Bakshi Lord of the Rings? Yes, it was revolutionary at the time, but it's so cringe. Sorry, not sorry. Now, these t-shirts are all horrible, except for the Gandalf one. That one is the amazing cover art. I love that one. This Gandalf is pretty cool, and that Ring Wraith is amazing. Everything else is cringe. Don't even show it to me. Bunch of Conan novels back in print. Vampirella back issues. Hey, you got $95 to buy the first issue. Everything else is still in stock, except for the classic issue number 14. That one sold out. And as I said here, Barbara Lee became the real-life model, and she did a bunch of different covers in the recent times, and a few more after 78, this one here. The world's most exciting magazines, the universe's best prizes. Got some Star Wars action figures, that newfangled movie that everyone loved. Luke Skywalker with retractable lightsaber. Darth Vader looks amazing. Princess Leia too. Bunch of Superman stuff, because the movie's coming out, you gotta get the sheets. Things never change. More Superman stuff. More Star Wars stuff. Ooh, those blankets are pretty amazing. And then you can get the Lord of the Rings posters and the Star Wars action figures. Greedo! $2.95 each. And one more ad for the comic book tie-in to the spectacular motion picture. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, plots. Yeah, plots. 5 out of 5. Amazing stuff. Enjoyability. Maybe you can tell I greatly enjoyed this comic. Amazing cover art, interior art, plots, nostalgia. 5 out of 5 on the enjoyability. And so should you get it or shred it? Definitely get it. Check out some of these classic 70s black and white anthology series from Warren. Whether they are Vampirella, eerie, or creepy, you won't be disappointed. I wish I could still pay $2 for these, but current prices are a small price to pay for such an enjoyable book. So if you enjoyed this video and my various series, don't forget to head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos, and pledge there for $3.33 a month. What a deal. You keep the channel funded, you keep it going, you become a part of it. I would really appreciate it. If you can't quite pledge at the moment, simply like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell, battle the Minotaur. Do all that good stuff. Battle the dragon. And tell me in the comments what you thought about this read-through. Is Vampirella the original bad girl? Do you like this variety of stories, most of them with twist endings and gruesome art? Did you grow up with these back in the day? Are you new to comics? Tell me in the comments. What do you think about the recent Dynamite Vampirella books? Do you think those recent books are missing a few important aspects that the old ones had? Are you digging those new fight scenes and art? Tell me in the comments. Do you too want to cheat death by coming back as a hippopotamus? Tell me in the comments. And so this week I read Vampirella Volume 1, number 78, published in 1979 by Warren Magazines. This has been the weekly VM Campos Comic Book Club, and I'll see you next week.